So, this video is going to be a little different from what I normally record. Yesterday I was scouring the internet for information about clubbed thumbs, also known as toe thumbs, or the less appealing murderer's thumb. The clubbed thumb was originally called the murderer's thumb, denoting the powerful temper of those who carried it. This thumb has a short first phalange and is broad. The tip of the thumb is fleshy and the thumbnail is short and broad. According to those who know people with clubbed thumbs, they are strong-willed and can't control their emotions. So, as you can see, I haven't been coming up with very much, but this is the thumb as described. The scientific name for this type of thumb is Brachydactyly, type D, a type of thumb characterized by a shortened distal phalange, the bone at the tip of the digit, which is this little guy right here. What I was looking for at the beginning of my search was manicure ideas for this type of thumb because I had already exhausted my own inspiration and creativity for my own thumbs. And the person that I normally seek inspiration from is Megan Fox because she has similar thumbs to mine, although she keeps hers a little bit shorter. But I've only really seen a couple of different examples of what she does with hers, which is why I went on an exhaustive search for other ideas. What I found instead were, a bunch of posts from people explaining, why they don't wear nail polish and why they were sort of more ashamed of having this type of thumb. I checked Google for, a handful of different search terms, including Megan Fox manicures, Megan Fox thumb manicures, because that's actually a hashtag. It's hashtag Megan Fox thumb. Clubbed thumb manicures, toe thumb manicures, among other things. So basically, all of the names that I could think of for this type of thumb, followed by manicure ideas. I got a couple of things, but not really very much from people that seemed like ready to embrace their unique digits. I did find one post from a woman that had found a way to creatively use sticker art on the thumbnail, but that was really the only one that I had found. But I did learn a couple of other interesting facts, like this type of thumb only occurs in 3% of the population, which is interesting. And it makes total sense because I've met maybe one other person that has this type of thumb aside from myself. The other thing I learned is that they're not always symmetrical, meaning that a person that has this type of thumb may have only one rather than both, the way that I do here. I was also looking for more positive stories about having this type of thumb, but I really just came up with very, very little. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that this is something that I, A, have experience with, and B, can contribute, a lot towards positively. So I guess I can begin first by explaining how I first realized that I had a different thumb from any other person that I've met. My first memory of somebody else sort of noticing my thumbs is from the 5th grade. I had just transferred to a new elementary school. It was either the first or second week of school, I'm not sure. But we were all lined up and walking down the hall to music class or something, PE, and I put my hand on the railing, and one of my classmates pointed out my thumbs, and they said it looks like a hammerhead shark, And I just kind of remember, like, laughing and kind of brushing it off and, well, sort of agreeing and not really having a problem with it, but after that, it, never really came up. The only other comment I remember was about the length of my nails, because there was this girl in class that always wore acrylics, and she was, like, always impeccably made up, but the only thing that I really ever did in that avenue was painting my nails, and I always kept them kind of around this length, actually. And she said something like, "Are those your nails? That's awesome. Like, are those actually your nails?" And I didn't really understand what she meant by that, because I didn't really fully understand the concept of fake nails or acrylics. But, and that was really the only other time I remember that coming up. But I do have memory of tucking my thumb in my hands and, like, just generally hiding them in clothes and other things that I could, like my jacket. So maybe that's why I didn't get very many comments from other kids, because, I mean, it's just, it becomes a habit when you're ashamed of something. So I guess when I was younger, I definitely was at least slightly ashamed of it. Then I went years without somebody mentioning it, and there was always that one person that came out of the woodwork that would notice them and kind of freak out like they'd just seen Sasquatch. And I mean, aside from that, I never really got many negative comments, although I do have one, actually a little bit more recently. Somebody did react a little negatively towards my thumbs. We had both just gotten manicures, and I had noticed, I had gone for the reverse manicure, and I had noticed that the color on one of my thumbs was uneven. So I said, "There's something wrong with my thumb." And of course, I don't know why I worded it that way, but the person kind of interpreted that as, there's something physically wrong with me. Which, of course, I didn't mean that. I meant, there's an imperfection with the manicure that I had just gotten. So, the basic structural integrity of my thumb, which I never would have said. But all in all, I would like to say that I've never felt anything really negative about my thumb, unless somebody else brought it to my attention in a negative way. I've actually really grown to love them in the years that I've had them, in my 30 years on this earth. And there was times when I was slightly jealous of people with the typical thumb, because they had more space for nail art and nail polish, like the crackle nail polish that was so on trend at that time. Then I eventually realized that the only real limits I had were because I was self-conscious. And after that, I felt freer, and I tried a lot of different things I didn't even think I could do. Like, I actually had acrylics for like 6 or 7 months. I mean, eventually they just became too high maintenance, and I really hated what they did to my nails when I wanted to take them off. They basically just destroy your nail beds, so you have to start all over again and basically regrow healthy nails. But I think what I'm really trying to say, that is, if somebody is reacting towards something that is different about you in a negative way, it's because people are afraid of anything that they don't understand, and they're afraid of anything different, really. And to quote Dune, fear is the mind killer. So if I don't continue with this video idea, but you still want manicure ideas for this type of thumb, for the 3% of us that have this type of thumb and enjoy nail polish, just follow me on Instagram, because I pretty much always post pictures of my nails on there. So, there you go. Be the change you want to see in the world, or something. But hey, you know, it does get better. So, for those of you kids out there with this kind of thumb, you can embrace it, and one day you will not be afraid. Even if you're not a kid and you have this type of thumb, and you feel ashamed. Someday, maybe, you'll be as brazen as I am, and you'll wear chipped nail polish and rings on almost every finger. That is the dream. Well, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.